Hi everyone, I'm Eve Pro. I'm here with lovely Tanya, who came in to get a little makeup lesson, and of course here she is now sitting being a tutorial for you guys. So Tanya, welcome. What would you like to learn today?
I just want to learn how to put my makeup professionally and for it to look nice and beautiful, I guess.
Flawless, right? You want to have, Tanya, like everybody wants to have flawless looking skin like the rest of us. And you're beautiful, you're gorgeous. I'm noticing that your face is a little bit darker than the rest of your body, and probably you've experienced putting on foundation and it gets even darker.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it doesn't match, so you're better off not wearing anything.
Exactly.
All right, so we're gonna go through the whole quick lesson, and you're gonna see how you're gonna come out looking gorgeous, and you can do the same at home. All right, here we go. So we start off with priming moisturizer. Whether your skin is dry or oily, you wanna moisturize it, because not only will it moisturize, it will also get rid of any extra residue, and it will basically prime your skin and get it ready for any products that we're going to apply over it. And obviously when you're doing this yourself, you can actually just use your fingers. But when applying it on somebody else, for when you become a makeup artist and help others, you can use a sponge. Actually, your skin doesn't seem oily to me. Do you have oily skin? Does it ever get oily in certain areas?
Sometimes.
Or in your T-zone mostly?
Yes.
Okay, so if you do have oily skin, like I do, a little bit of anti-shine, but very, very little bit of anti-shine. And when I say little, I mean like basically this much. This much, very little, a drop, a dab, a pea size. And we can take another sponge, a little bit of the anti-shine, and basically apply it to the T-zone. Open your eyes. I want you to see all this. You see? I want you to see how it totally just dries the little areas up. This is how much we have left. So you don't need a lot at all. Today we are going to use the deep. So some of you, Joey, can you turn it so I could see it also? So we have the dark, and we have the deep. The dark could work for you, but probably it would get a little ashier color because, well, it would just be too light. And the deep, we're not going to use these dark colors except for contours, so this will be an ideal color for most of your skin tone. For you ladies out there who are not aware, basically if you start out with Tanya's coloring, if I was to use the darker color all over her face, within about a half an hour the makeup would oxidize, which means it would turn even darker. So we want to always stay in honey tones, but we want to go with a little bit lighter shade than your own skin tone, so that when it does oxidize, as long as it has a honey tone, it will stay natural to your own skin. And I will show you what that all means. So we're going to grab a sponge. And I've already pre-wet this in the sink, but if you don't have a sink, have a little bottle and wet it. I repeat this step as often as I can because people don't believe me. Here's a wet sponge, here's a dry sponge. It's the same thing. You want yours, I want you to feel it. You want yours to be wet. So don't be stingy with the water. Right now, from the sink, it's still free. So utilize it. This is the deep. There's a side A and a side B. We're going to start with the side A. We get it right on the tip of our brush, our foundation brush, and I'm going to do your eyes first. So close. And I'm basically going to put it on 1, 2, and right in the middle of your forehead and across your eyebrows. The reason I'm putting it in these places is because this is where we're going to be putting product, and we want it to stay. So you can open it. I want you to see where I have it. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just want your placement on the lids and right above in the center part of your forehead. Okay, then with the wet sponge, we're going to blend everything in. And as you're blending in, you always want to see your skin coming through. And do you see how much lighter? It's a little slightly lighter than your own skin tone. But as soon as we mix it in, it's already turning into your skin coloring. And remember, you can always darken up foundation with blush, but once you've made your foundation go too dark, it's very, very difficult, if not impossible, to lighten it up again without it turning like a weird gray tint. And once you've done that, you can take a dry sponge into some powder. Joey, can you hand me those powders, those dual powders right there? Yeah, the cases, yep, those things. Thank you. Great, thank you. These are our HG dual powders coming soon. They don't exist yet, but they will. We take a dry sponge, and we're actually going to put it on the lighter color of the two, or you can mix the two colors. Looks like this. And we're going to apply it right on your eyelid. Because wherever you have cream, you want to powder it. The powder will make sure that it stays and does not move. And we're just smoothing it down. Okay. Now the palettes we're going to use for you today will be the Diva. And that was the Diva Eye Palette, the dark blush palette, and maybe we'll stay with these two, and now we want one more. And the light, actually, the light blush palette, and you'll see why. Let me see what colors you're wearing. Yeah, we can use the light. Or you know what? We're going to put the light blush palette back, and we're going to use the Ultimate, because of course I love my Ultimate. So I start out with an all-over eyeshadow brush. All-over eyeshadow brush.
Hey.
And to the, hey, how you doing? Into our Ultimate.
They call or they have my class.
Can you go in the office? They'll show you.
Alright.
Finger puff. Our FedEx guy delivering to all over the world. All-over eyeshadow brush. I'm going to take our Ultimate palette. I'm going to actually mix a little bit of the gold with a little bit of the rose. Okay, rose and gold. I'm going to put it all over your lid. And actually, you know what? Looking at this color, I'm realizing I could have done that right with the Diva palette. I could just take the lightest color in the Diva palette and use that all over your eyelid. I think we'll do that instead. Now the reason I'm doing the eye makeup first is this way whatever falls on your face we're going to be able to clean up and then do everything else. So we do the all over the eyelid. The next step is the Black Pearl eyeliner, and this becomes waterproof. When it goes on, see what happens when you don't close it, right? But when it goes on, it always comes out straight without any crazy smudges. So I'm going to put this as close to the lash line as possible and basically draw my little line. And these liners don't have to be perfectly straight because we're going to blend it all out anyway. So you just want to get it as close to the lash line as possible. So you get it as close to the lash line, and then you take it out at the very outside edges. Close it up. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a liner brush. We're going to take a liner brush and back to our Diva palette. I'm going to take the black and the blue, well, a little bit of the green, all the colors you have in your outfit. A little bit of the black, a little bit of the blue, and the green. So basically all the dark colors will go with the wine too. The great thing about being a woman, you don't have to make a choice or a decision. Thank gosh. So I'm going to put this right on top of the liner. We're going to smooth that liner out, and we're going to take that liner all the way out. The same thing in the other eye. A little bit of the wine, black, blue, all these colors, so that when someone's going to look at you when your makeup is done, you're not going to notice any of these colors that we're putting on. You're just going to notice your beautiful eyes. That is the key to makeup. The next step, gosh, where are all these little colors? Is a little crease brush. Back to our Diva palette. And I can still use these same colors basically. I'll just use now the black and the blue and a little bit of the wine. I'm going to go on the outside edge here right here. You can open your eyes. I'm going to go right here and then make a V, okay? And then I'm going to take all the excess that's on this brush and I'm going to work it towards the inner part of your lid. So basically that the outside corner has a little bit more color. The same thing, a little bit wine, black, and blue. And that's all going to get blended down. It's not going to look all harsh. But you see where we stopped here with the liner? Right here, we're going to go up. And you already have a beautiful crease, so I'm going to go right into your own natural crease. Right there. With the thinnest part of the brush. So we're going to go right in and then work this down. And I can take a little bit more of the wine and the blue only and just work that right on the outside corners. Okay, now we're going to take a mixer brush. This is our mixer blender brush. Back to the Diva palette. Into the two warm colors on the top right hand side. And I'm going to put this right on the, basically on the border between the darker shadows and the lighter shadows, right in the center, and then on top of where that crease was made. And what this does is this actually just creates a smooth, a much smoother contour crease rather than any harsh colors. Because we don't want to have any harsh colors showing up. And it basically is getting rid of all the harshness. But what we're going to do, because it looks like it's eliminating colors, we're going to create layers. Because we want to make sure your makeup not only goes on, it also stays on for a long time. So the first layer, see kind of like there's a shadow of it. I'm going to do one more layer of this just to make sure that it stays so you don't have to touch up your makeup during the day. Because you're better off investing your time once, getting it right, and then you never have to think about your makeup again. So I'm mostly staying in the outside corner. And the same thing on the other side. Mostly staying in the outside corner. Okay. And then I'm not going to put any more color on my brush. I'm just going to use whatever was excess and just blend everything down. And the same on the other side. And we don't care about all the products that fall because we're going to clean all this up. We're going to go now into the Diva palette, into the brown here with a liner brush. And I'm actually going to just fill in your eyebrows. And I'm just going to take them up. Just fill them in a little bit. And the same on the other side. And if you notice, I'm actually staying on the top of your brows and just pulling this out. And we can continue to fill this in when we're done with the rest of the makeup application. Now I'm going to take more of the priming moisturizer and I'm actually going to wipe off everything that fell under your eyes because it's distracting at this point. And now we're going to just clean up that whole bottom area. Would you like some fake lashes? Are you going out tonight? If I put some fake lashes, will you go out tonight?
I got it right.
All right, fake lashes it is. You talked me into it. Gotta do the fake lashes. Okay, fake lashes. A quick fake lash application. I'm gonna put the black pearl pen all around the lashes, basically. Okay, so what we're doing is I'm just filling that little plastic part with black so you don't have to go over it afterwards with the liner. We do that. We take a tweezer, we pull it off. We measure the eye, close. We measure the eye, and we can cut a little bit. We're going to cut a little bit from the outside, a little bit, get rid of all this. And we find our black eyelash glue, black eyelash glue. We get rid of any excess. We gently make it come up. Ooh, just to show you, when it's wet, it's gray, and when it dries matte black. So I just put a very, very thin coat. Okay, thin coat. Take tweezer, hold the inside part with the tweezer, close, and place it on the eye. Boom. Once you position it on the eye, you want to make sure you open your eye slightly. Good. And close. And then the E-Pearl method is you turn this part down, turn this part up, open. Good, because you don't want to glue your eye shut. So you can just keep your eye open. I mean, you know, like close it as you need to. You just want to make sure that it's as close to the lash line, but on the skin as possible. Same thing on the other side. Really, the eyes are the longest process. Everything else takes no time at all. Same thing, we take the other lash, we cut off like 2 from the outside. We get our glue. It's pretty fast, right, to apply lashes. You apply the glue, a thin layer. There we go. Once you apply them, hold the outside with your fingers, the inside with the tweezer, get close to the lash, and apply. As soon as you apply, you want to open. Good. Great. And you let that dry. Open. Great. And you always want to make sure that it's as close to that lash line as possible from the outside and the inside. And then you want to flip the outside part of it up so that it dries a little bit up here. And the same thing on both outsides. Good. As we're letting that dry, we want to cover up the lash glue. I'll be with you in just 4 minutes, 5 minutes tops. That's where it's a quick, once the eyes are done, really, everything else takes no time at all. In case you get any glue on your face, it just comes right off. Boom, as soon as it dries. And we get rid of all the excess. Is anything poking you, anything sticking? Okay, good. That's the most important part, that nothing pokes and nothing sticks, and once it dries, we're gonna connect them to your natural lashes. Back to the foundation part. While that's drying, we're gonna go back to the foundation. We're gonna take the lighter part of the foundation, put it right here. This also right here. And around the lip area, we're using the lighter color. We're gonna take the darker color, we're gonna apply it around the forehead. We're gonna apply it in here, where the cheekbone is going to be for the creating of the cheekbone. Okay, and we're gonna combine these two colors here and here. And we didn't get to the concealer part yet. And also on your chin, and combination on your nose, more of the lighter than the darker. We're taking our little wet sponge, and we're basically now blending everything in. We didn't do the under eyes yet. We're just blending in all the darker colors with the lighter colors to create our gorgeous, flawless finish. And you see I'm rubbing it and pulling it so it's straight, so it continues on with the straight and smooth. See how nice and smooth this is gonna? And the same on the other side. And we just want to work it all in. Okay. Now we're going to do the under eyes. Here would be our dark Salmon concealer. We're going to take our concealer brush, a little bit one side, two sides. This is going to look light, but we're going to mix it with the dark foundation, with the deep foundation that is. We're going to put a little bit here and a little bit here. We work this in. And the good thing is now we take our foundation and we work that in to mix with the concealer. We work it all down. And we're going to do one more layer there. Okay, and you want to be very gentle around the eye area. Okay. We're going to take the brush and a touch more of the lighter part of the foundation. Deep, this is a deep foundation, and I'm going to do it a little bit right here, a little bit more right here, blending that in, because it's okay to layer and blend, because we want to make sure we hit that blue that's coming out from here, and so we put a little touches of this. And like you need very, very little of that salmon, because the whole point of the salmon is to break that blue. And then gently kind of pat this in. If you're using your finger, just pat it in as though you were playing piano on your under eye area. Okay. And by the way, this is all skincare, so it's actually treating your skin. And you want to make sure you get all around for like a smooth finish. I want to put a little bit more right here. Can't help myself, I'm sorry. All right. Is it looking smoother than you used to? Actually, once we powder this, we can do it one more layer even. All right. So we went all the way up around there. Now, here's a great little trick and hint. You can always take your foundation and one more brush and take it into the dark color and actually create more contour. Right here and right here. You can do, if you want to do any shading, not that you need anything, but if you have a, some of us I know get a little bit of a double chin, you can do that down here, work that back down here. You could also do it around the hairline a little bit more, and if you wanted to kind of shade the nose, you can always do that by using a little thinner brush, putting it on the darker color. You can use actually this as a palette, and you can do a thin, you know, thin little line if you wanted to, but you don't have to. You have a lovely nose, but I grew up doing this to my own nose. I don't know why. I have so many other things to contour. But when you're contouring your nose, you can just go straight down here, straight down here. You can use your fingers to blend it down. You can use the sponge to blend it down, or you can do nothing at all. I am just giving you options to show you how. Okay, we got a little contour going on. And we're going to take our powder, put a little bit of powder. A little bit of the powder. I want to show you another great little trick. Even though this is blush, our blush trio, it's also powder. Here's our fan brush, my favorite little item. Into the fan brush, all three colors, and basically on your cheeks, and a little bit on the forehead, a little bit down below. If you want to have a little more contouring, just take the darkest color, put it down here, put it down here. If you want to have a little bit more highlighting, just the bronzer, say smile, right on the cute cheeks, and go back into your foundation. You can blend that down also. We don't want to have too much. Where did I get on you? A little brush here. There we go. See, I see a little bit of shadow right there. So we take a little bit more of the concealer. Don't be afraid to layer. Okay. I just want to powder you. So I'm going to take my little powder puff, a little bit of the powder, and powder, and powder. Okay. Powder. Make sure when you're powdering, you're just pressing and not rubbing everything off. Okay, now we're going to connect your lashes. We take our mascara, and we're going to connect the lashes. You can just look down, and you can blink if you have to. And that's one side and two sides. Ta-da. Okay, we're going to do your bottom eyeliner, and then we're almost done. Black pencil, bottom liner. You can go inside if you like, or you could stay on the outside rim. Whatever makes you happy. If you can draw a straight line, you can do little dots to connect them. And whatever you do to one side, the same thing on the other side. Okay, it doesn't have to be a perfect line, because then if you just take your mini smudger and your Diva palette to your darker colors, this will smooth everything out. And you can take this out to the outside of your shadow as well, and you can extend your shadow. 1, 2, 3. And you can extend your shadow. Now that's looking a little bit like a lot of makeup to me. A little bit. If it starts getting too light in this area, you can break it up with blush. You know, if you take some of the lighter blush colors, we can break it up with the blush. Because I want to put powder there, but the powder, I don't want it to get like a weird chalky color. So I would rather try to use a warm tone color. Forehead. And we'll do pencil. This is our caramel. Just a little bit to give a touch of a hint of a warm color. And part of the gift that you're going to get for being here is you're going to get a brand new, this one, this is yours now. Our sample goes right on you, and you get to keep it. And this is our 104. Stardust. First we use the Stardust side, the Moonlight Kiss side, and then the Stardust, which is a little bit of gold. Has a little hint of mint. Now, sometimes what you can do when you put the makeup on looks a little, to me it looks a little shiny. We take a tissue and you basically are going to pat it. Hold on, we'll take that lipstick thing. I'm going to pat it on your face, and you can do this even with your powder puff, because I want to make sure we get any excess off without having to put any more product on your face. And this is a very good thing to do because it'll just pick up, it'll pick up excess product while still leaving the coverage. Okay. And a touch of the concealer right here, because you got a little blue right there. Touch right here. Well, Tanya, you're done. I'm gonna put a little bit more color on your cheeks, but touch your face. Work it in with your fingers, because here it gets yellow. Work it in. Don't be afraid because it's basically cream. It's your skincare, so I want you to work it in towards your face and your skin. I want you to take this wet sponge and you can wet it some more. And the great thing with any of the products that have cream or these powders, they're all compatible with each other. So you can make it as full coverage or as sheer coverage as possible. And basically, thank y'all. This is Tanya. I hope we were able to show you something. And do you feel comfortable?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And we'll work on the coverage. Here's your sponge.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.